Welcome on into Garage Takes. If you haven't done so already, do us a favor, hit that like, follow, that subscribe button. If you're a Michigan football fan, you're a Lions fan, hop right in. Let us know what you think here, because Brant, this episode I'm super excited about. We are just days away from the college football season kicking off. We've got week 0 coming up here this Saturday. I know you're excited about, Iowa State, Kansas State, whatever. That's a whole different ball game. The bottom line is we've got football back this week. And right after this, we've got important football, which is Michigan hosting New Mexico, and the season begins. And so, Brent, what I'd like to do this episode with you is I want to go position group by position group on offense and on defense for this Michigan football team. And I want to know your honest thoughts. Are you confident or are you concerned about each of these groups? And we can kind of wrap things up at the end and just kind of get a pulse on where you sit with this team as of today on August 19th. Bryce Underwood's birthday, Savion Hyder's commitment to the University of Michigan. Man, it's been a pretty good day, right?
Yeah, man, let's go. Let's get into it.
All right, let's start right there. I want to start at the quarterback position. Let's go offense first, and then we'll go defense on the second half of the segment here. So offense, I want to start right there with the quarterback position. Confident or concerned?
Confident, Dave. And it's almost got less to do with Bryce Underwood than it does to have to do with the backup quarterback situation between Jadyn Davis, Mikey Keene, and even a guy like Jake Garcia. I mean, if you think about where this quarterback room was last year, it was a disaster, Dave, to put it lightly. But this year, I feel like if Bryce even starts to struggle some, and I mean, it's to be expected a little bit with the freshman nerves, maybe a bit. I feel like a guy like Mikey Keene or even a guy like Jadyn Davis that's now been in the program for this second year or whatever. We're talking about guys that can come in and potentially play and have the confidence to make plays. So I have a feeling that this quarterback room is probably the best since we've obviously had JJ and Cade McNamara.
All right, good. We differ right from the get-go. I'm going to say concerned, and that does not at all reflect I'm not concerned about Bryce Underwood. I think the kid is going to be quite possibly the best quarterback in Michigan football history from everything that we've heard, everything you're hearing out of fall camp. You can't get worse than what you were last year in that position group. You're one of the worst in all of college football. So will it be better? Absolutely. Where I have concern, Brant, is I don't care what Sharon Moore or anybody says, you're starting a true freshman quarterback. Bryce Underwood is going to be the named starter next Monday when Sharon gets in front of the media. So there's your QB1. Feel good about it. The upside is outstanding, but he's just turned 18 years old today as we record this. And so there's going to be some bumps. There's going to be some bruises. I think it's not the Bryce Underwood piece of this. I mean, that to me it's confident in terms of the caliber of a player that you're getting at that position. He's going to be a dual threat quarterback. Yes, he's going to make mistakes, but he's going to air it out. He's going to be lethal with his legs. Michigan fans, you're going to love what you see this year, bottom line, from Bryce Underwood. I have concerns about the backup quarterback position. Mikey Keene has not been at full health dating back to the last spring, in spring ball when they brought him on campus. You saw it in the spring game. It was two quarterbacks in the room. It was Bryce Underwood and it was Jadyn Davis. That's not a good situation. I do not have confidence in Jadyn Davis. We do not right now, and I don't know the status of Mikey Keene. You keep hearing that it's getting better. He's improving, taking things day by day. I don't love that because to me, he's the insurance policy. And so Jake Garcia, he was awful last year. Yes, he's a veteran quarterback. Yes, he's a former 5-star recruit. He was awful. And so I don't feel good about that at all. I don't feel good about Jadyn Davis and his nasty release of an arm there in the quarterback room. And so I'm very concerned, actually, about this position group. I feel, that being said, way, way, way more confident than I did last year. Bryce Underwood is going to be, I think, in year one what J.J. McCarthy was in year two, and that's saying a lot. I think this is the 2022 version of J.J. McCarthy, and you'll see that out of Bryce. He's going to be very good, but God forbid he goes down for a series, a quarter, a half, 2 games, 4 games, whatever it is. I don't have confidence in this room. And so right now, for me, it sits at concern. Brant, let's move to the running back room. Confident or concerned, and why?
Yeah, I think this one across the board, and probably any sort of media outlet, national or otherwise, would say that this is the most confident, the confident part of Michigan's offense or of their offense. Dave, I mean, you're talking about Jordan Marshall, Justice Haynes, and um, Dave. You can even work in Max Bredesen in this room. Like, think about how important of a key he is to this team. And so, when you're talking about three guys like that, that will absolutely be able to handle that backfield, and guys that have played football now. I mean, we don't have any true freshmen, that we're going to expect handling the football. So, it is the most confident group, I think, definitely on the offense, potentially on the entire team.
Yeah, I'm confident in the running back room. I think Jordan Marshall and Justice Haynes, the transfer out of Alabama, by the way, former 5-star, former #1 running back recruit in the country in Justice Haynes. He's going to come into a perfect system, along with Jordan Marshall, who showed major flashes against Alabama in the bowl game, highly rated recruit. Those two right there, I think, have the potential to be one of the best running back duos in the country. Now, outside of that, you've got Micah Kapana, you got Jasper Parker, some young guys behind there. Benjamin Hall, you lose to a transfer. So I don't know about the depth behind those two, but look, when you've got two guys like Jordan Marshall and Justice Haynes, I'm nothing less than confident heading into the season there. And that is the bread and butter of the Michigan offense. We'll see what Chip Lindsey's offense looks like, but look, I am 1,000% confident in this running back room heading into the 2025 season. Brant, what about the wide receivers? Confident or concerned?
Well, Dave, this is a major concern. And I know a lot of people aren't going to know who Anthony Simpson is, and a lot of people aren't going to maybe they might recognize Donovan McCulley's name, but they might not recognize him as a receiver. That's for sure. And we're talking about McCulley as the number one guy in the room. Uh, I mean, I think he was like all Big Ten honorable mention one year. And if you think about the unprovenness in this room, Dave, it really it speaks volumes. Frederick Moore is a guy that he had one beautiful catch against Alabama. What else have you seen from Frederick Moore, Dave? You think about a guy like Samaj Morgan. Could potentially this be his year? And all you hear coming out of camp is Samaj is loving this offense. And boy, have we seen that not ring true over the years. Like, hey, this guy's really busting out in camp, and then all of a sudden it's a bust during the season. So I think Chip Lindsey's going to help that receiver room certainly. But Dave, they need much more production than they've had over the last couple of years, and I think that you need a true number one. I really hope McCulley can be that, but I don't think it's proven right now, and I don't know how anybody could have confidence in this wide receiver room currently.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, you have to be concerned about it. Donovan McCulley, look, when Sharon Moore goes on the record and says, I don't think we've had a guy like this since Nico Collins, the hype train is building for Donovan McCulley. What lacks in Donovan McCulley is the proof on tape. Yes, he had one good season, 700 yards receiving at Indiana. Former quarterback, great athlete, big body receiver, 6'5". Michigan hasn't had that in a while. From everything you're hearing out of camp, it sounds like that's Bryce Underwood's guy. Like their chemistry is really picked up. I do believe in it. I mean, I should say I want to believe in it. But to the guys you just named, man, Freddie Moore, Samaj Morgan, true freshmen in Jamar Browder, Andrew Marsh, like we don't know we don't know about these guys. Like they just we don't know. And I don't love where we're at right now because there are a couple of keys to building around a true freshman quarterback, one that just turned 18 years old today. An offensive line, which we're going to get to next, a strong running game, and putting some talent out there at wide receiver. And right now, I'm not saying the talent's not there, but it's not proven. And so I'm right there with you. This is a major, major concern heading into the 2025 season. What about the tight end group? You lose Colson Loveland. I think he goes number 10 overall to the Chicago Bears. You've had just a solid, and even before that, having Luke Schoonmaker, Colson Loveland, where do you see this tight end room? Let me know your thoughts.
I am confident in this room, but I'm not overly confident in this room. I think I'm buying this with like cautious optimism. I know Marlon Klein's made Bruce Feldman's freak list, a couple years in a row now, and we just haven't seen him catch the ball a ton, Dave, and that's probably no fault of Marlon Klein's, himself, but that's probably more speaking volumes about the quarterback room. But you think about him, Brady Prescorn, what can he bring this year? A guy like Hogan Hansen, who saw some field time last year, and I know they're a very athletic group, but I also need to see the blocking on the ends, Dave, and that's really who's going to be able to be on the field is going to be whoever's going to be able to set those edges and to be able to stop the defensive ends from tackling the running back. So I love Marlon Klein as the starter this year, but I think that Prescorn and Hogan Hansen seed the field quite a bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm concerned. I wouldn't say I'm overly confident. I guess I'm kind of in the middle. I'm a cop out on this group. I think Marlon Klein, everything that we've seen and heard also out of camp is that, when it comes to being the best blocking tight end on the team, he's been that guy. We know that the pass catching it's there. He's got it in him. Let's see what that chemistry looks like with Bryce Underwood. That's kind of where I'm at. Hogan Hansen has kind of been the prototype to be like Colson Loveland 2.0, maybe obviously not Colson Loveland 2.0, but like your receiving tight end. Hogan Hansen's been hurt. And so we'll see. I know it's not a serious injury. I know he's there and he's playing, but we'll have to see that tight end room. Look, I will also throw in Max Bredesen. You mentioned him earlier. He's not a tight end. He's more of that fullback position, but he's a key element of that entire group. He's a leader of this football team, and I feel really, really good about him, especially having Jordan Marshall, Justice Haynes behind him. So look, I'm somewhere in the middle on this group. Last but not least, on the offensive side of the ball, this offensive line. This has been the talk of this football team. When you talk about Michigan football and when they are great, look at the 2023 season, even in 2021, 2022, what changed for this program? It was dominating in the trenches. And so right now, you look at this offensive line in 2025, last year, it wasn't it. They got better as the year went on, but it wasn't it. It wasn't up to Michigan standard. It wasn't up to Sharon Moore's standard as a former O-line coach, offensive coordinator. Year two of Sharon Moore, he said the offensive line will be elite at Michigan as long as he is there. Confident or concerned in this group heading into the season?
Confident, Dave, and I mean, I don't know. I have a tough time throwing shade at the offensive line last year when you're stacking 8, 9 guys in the box. I mean, you really can't take that as a true representation of who that offensive line was last year. But I think this offensive line has some youth to it, and they're going to have a little more growing pains until they're fully there. But you look at a guy like Evan Link. I know we've talked about it in the past, Dave. His pass protection has to be better. Run blocking great, but he rated like in the bottom 10 of pass protection for left tackles last year. And I mean, that's just a position that you have to be solid at, especially with a freshman quarterback, a prize piece like Bryce Underwood. And I do like that we've got some stalwarts there. Greg Crippen, is going to be able to hold that offensive line down at the center position. You got guys coming on like Sprague, how he played well last year. I think him on the right side kind of anchors that offensive line. And then you're going to see some different looks. I think a guy like Blake Frazier definitely could get some snaps. I know the Babalola injury it's tough because that guy looked like he was due for some snaps certainly this year, and we'll see what We'll see what happens with Haywood and a couple other guys. But I think this offensive line, as they mature, as they get further into the season, I think they're just going to gel and mash again.
Yeah, I think I'm concerned on this group, and the Babalola injury didn't help anything. Not concerned like they're going to be bad, just concerned because they're so to me, they're not proven. I mean, yes, you bring back Greg Crippen. You're going to have, it sounds like a Phobie in the right guard position. You've got El Hadi coming back on the left guard. Like, They've got some experience there. I don't love Evan Link at left tackle. I do think that he will be better. We saw flashes of that at the end of last year. He really struggled. I worry about the depth behind that. You lose him. I mean, he goes down for a quarter or a half or a game or a few games. Like behind him, you name Blake Frazier. I don't know what to think of Blake Frazier, especially at left tackle. Is it Brady Norton, the transfer from Cal Poly, or Lawrence Attar, like from I'm losing where he's from, but right here in the state of Michigan, at Fair State. Sorry, and even on the right side, I feel very good about Andrew Sprague, but I'm not confident that this group gels week one. I'm going to tell you what flips my confidence the other way, though, just a little bit. Because I think Grant Newsome has a very promising future as an O-line coach in college football and here at Michigan. Grant Newsome is young. He is learning. He is growing right alongside these guys. Now, what Sharon Moore did was genius. Just kind of an under-the-radar signing and bringing in Juan Castillo here to come in and help with this offensive line group. And so for that reason, I'm somewhere in the middle here where I'm like, okay, I think we'll be okay. I don't think we start the season as slow as we did last year. Do I think this is a Joe Moore winning O-line? No, I don't. Do I think that they can finish top 30? I do. And so concerned is probably maybe the wrong word, but I'm definitely not confident in the sense of what we know about Michigan football when this program is really good. I'm not there yet. And so that's where I'm at. Brant, quickly on, and we're not going to get to special teams here in this episode, but I want to go to the defensive side of the ball. Let's go to the anchor of this defense, and that's the defensive line. Confident or concerned? I think I know your answer.
Yeah, confident, Dave, and I don't need to spend minutes talking about the 8 guys that are going to be rolling in and out of there, potentially 10 deep, between the ends and the defensive tackles. And I know we've talked about it in the past. The one thing I will say is that this defensive line will have to be fresh because I think the secondary is going to take a bit of time to get up to speed maybe this season. And so I definitely wouldn't be relying on any covered sacks. I think that this team's going to have to get after the quarterback, and they're going to have to get after the quarterback consistently.
Yeah, I think what's weird is saying that this defensive line in 2025 could actually be better than the defensive line in 2024 when you lose Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham, 2 top 15 NFL draft picks. But the depth of this defensive line is insane. And I mean, these are guys who have been waiting in the wings, right? Like your Rayshon Bennies, your Trey Pierces, you bring in transfers in Trey Williams, right? Damon Payne from Alabama. These guys, and you're hearing all Cam Brandt, you're hearing his name come up all the time in camp right now. The edges, you've got Derek Moore. I mean, TJ Guy, this Dom Nichols, this is going to be a group. And I do genuinely think that this could be a top 3 defensive line in all of college football. So this is going to be the heart and soul of this team right here. And it will impact the success of the secondary and obviously the rest of the defense, which we'll get to in a second. But most definitely confident in the D-line group. Let's move back just a bit. What about this linebacker group? Confident or concerned?
I'm concerned about the linebacker position, Dave. I love Barham and I love Ernie Hausmann, but last year they were hot and cold, and Barham seems to be out of position more than he is in position. I mean, he got better as the season went on, but anytime he rushes the quarterback, it just seems like he's headed downhill one way, and a fake is going to throw him off so easily. And Dave, I haven't seen a ton out of Jimmy Rolder that I've loved. I mean, he seems like a nice piece player in that. And Cole Sullivan will probably get some snaps there this year. And Ernie Hausmann probably will be the heart and soul of this defense. He's a nice player. I don't know if he is all Big Ten caliber, Dave.
Wow, we differ here. I think this linebacker group is insanely good. I think Ernest Hausmann, he's going to be your quarterback of the defense right there. He's experienced. He's consistently improved. He's a leader. And I think he's what Max Bredesen is on offense. I think that's what you have in Ernie Hausmann on defense. I think Jadyn Barham, I think they scratched the surface with that kid last year. I think Wink was getting to know him. He was getting to know Wink. It did not look good at the beginning of the year, and especially when you put up the expectations of, oh, he's like Devin Bush. Oh, he's even better than Devin Bush. And then it's like, whoa, he's kind of out of position. It didn't look good at times. But by the end of the year, you saw the flashes. I think that Wink Martindale settling into his role and understanding putting these kids in the right positions to be successful and not always having to go after the quarterback every time. I think this linebacker crew is going to be really good. And I mean, dude, Jimmy Older, Cole Sullivan, that's your future at this position. Troy Bowles behind that, like former Georgia linebacker. This group is deep. I think these linebackers are going to be really, really good, actually. So we differ a little bit there. Let's go to the secondary here. Let's go cornerbacks, and then we'll go safety. Let's do it all in one. Confident or concerned in those two groups?
I am confident if it's the right guys. I'm concerned if it's the wrong guys, and that's on them to figure it out. And I know that's kind of a cop out answer, but I guess I lean more towards concern than Dave. And I know there's so many new pieces here, Dave, that we didn't get to watch a lot of Jadyn Mangum last year, and we didn't get to see obviously TJ Metcalf started for Arkansas, basically every game for them last year. But those are going to be two new pieces that we haven't seen gel. And Zeke Berry, he grew a ton last year, and I think he's grown into a nice corner. He's certainly not elite yet. And Jair Hill, he feels like he could be all Big Ten caliber. He feels like he can be elite, but I I don't know if I've seen enough to be on that confident side. So Dave, I'm going to go with concerned as of now. But I think this group has the makings to be really good. And as far as the safeties go, I think they have 2 or 3 different safeties that they're going to be able to work in. Obviously, the experience of Rod Moore, you're going to get him back. Hopefully, he might miss the first couple games, but hopefully he steps back into his normal role. Braden Hillman, what will we see out of him? He's a potential starter. So I think there's a lot to like in this group. So I think they can get there, but I'm concerned as of now.
I'm concerned about the cornerbacks for sure. I think Jair Hill is going to be a guy. I think he's a potential day one draft pick actually in the future. We'll see what his trajectory looks like. I'll be curious to see what they do with Zeke Berry, whether they toss him down at nickel, they put him outside. We'll have to see. You got Shamari Earls, true freshman there, unproven, but man, he's wearing the number 2 jersey. He's got the Will Johnson prototype, if you will. We'll have to see. I don't love the depth there, though. It's like outside of some of these guys. Josiah Edmonds, I mean, he'd be the other one, but I don't love the depth at that position. I'm very concerned. Someone's going to have to step up and really be a contributor this year outside of Jair Hill and Zeke Berry. I'm curious to see who that is. Now, at the safety position, I'm overly confident. I think that they have an outstanding group, especially, I mean, Rod Moore, who knows when you get him back? You're hearing he's at like 80% right now. I think Rod Moore he's arguably the heart and soul of this team, along with Max Bredesen, maybe Ernest Hausmann as well. But Rod Moore's been there. He's a national champion. He's a Big Ten champion, beat Ohio State several times, has made big plays when it counted. You get him back, that's a game changer right there. That's a game changer. And yes, you bring in TJ Metcalf, outstanding from Arkansas. I think he's going to be a guy you've heard, and Tevis Metcalf too. His brother. They're going to slide him potentially in at nickel. I think he could be a player too. But man, Brandon Hillman, just another guy that's just like sneaky good, hard hitter, tough player, just embodies Michigan football. And look, you named him temporarily, Brant, Jadyn Mangum. Jadyn Mangum, man, former Groves High School kid who went and played at Michigan State, was an absolute ball hawk when he played for a very bad Michigan State team, dealt with injuries last year and some other issues. You get him back this year. I think he could be very good. I think that safety room is very, very deep. And so what I want to know from you, Michigan football fans, we went long in this episode. Let us know in the comment section down below about this football team, these position groups. Are you confident? Are you concerned overall with this team? Where do you kind of sit right now as of today anyway, with this team? We want to know your thoughts, and hit that like, follow, subscribe button. Folks, we are here. Football is here. Michigan football is upon us, and we're excited. So go blue. Let us know what you guys think.